Welcome back to Tilted Glory Gaming, everybody. Today we are going to attempt to fix the issue with skill distribution and skill functionality in Monster Hunter Wilds. For the most part, the distribution is relatively good. I just have a few tweaks um, that we're going to talk about as far as on the weapons, and then distribution on armor is kind of all screwed up in my opinion. So we'll get to that in here just a second. As per usual, if you like the video, please consider liking, subscribing, and leaving a comment. And my face is in front of the sub button. Why? Anyways, as far as weapon skills go, um, again, for the most part, all these are already weapon skills. I get that. There is a couple in here that are not. Flare, right here, is not a weapon based skill. I think it should be. Um, just because attacking wounds is much more important for certain weapons than other weapons. And in the two weapon tier system that they presented to us, in the way that they presented it to us, that does matter. Uh, a little bit of remembrance here. If you go back to before the game came out, the way that it was pitched to us, the reason they were doing, weapon skills and armor skills and having the split there, the hype around that was because you were going to be able to carry two separate weapons. So you can carry a greatsword and a bowgun. You can carry a charge blade and dual blades. You can carry a bow and a switch axe. Things that do not have the same requirements for skills. That was the whole idea that they like gave us, that they presented to us for splitting them up. So with Flare being very centric around, I mean, the whole skill is very centric around the wounding system. Um, things like Charge Blade, things like Insect Glaive are much more dependent on those wounds, more so than some of the other weapons, such as Greatsword. Um, Longsword's very dependent on it, I believe, to get up to red gauge fast and keep red gauge. Um, I don't play longsword, so maybe it's not that bad, but from my understanding. Another one on here is Quick Sheath. I definitely think that is a weapon based skill. You can fight me on that one, but certain weapons are more inclined to use that than others. You are not going to be using Quick Sheath really on Sword and Shield, nor are you on something like Dual Blades really. So, you know, but you would, it is a good skill for something like Longsword, for something even like Greatsword if you want to do like a crit draw build, which is also on here. Um, so again, these are all skills that are weapon based, okay, including the critical skills. So critical status, critical eye, critical element, crit draw, like we just talked about, critical boost. Um, that all is weapon based. Critical eye, I guess you could argue, could be on the armor side, and I teetered with that a lot. Uh, the reason I kept it on weapon side is just because affinity is based into like baked into the weapons already. Um, so like certain weapons, you're not gonna care as much about affinity. Excuse me, about affinity, and then other weapons you are, such as Switch X. If you are doing a lot of full bursts or you're doing a lot of zero sum discharge or anything like that, anything with a lot of file usage, the files don't crit. So it's a little bit, if you can keep uptime on Switch X, um, it's not as important I don't feel, at least while I play, I don't feel it one way or the other. Maybe you know, speedrunners, obviously, but none of this pertains to them anyways. So, if you're a speedrunner and you're gonna critique this, I'm sorry, but I'm not talking to you. Y'all gonna find some janky BS to exploit the game anyways. So, I enjoy what you do, but I'm not talking to you. Sorry. If we go over to the armor skill side, we have everything from adaptability, which is your hot and cold reduction, all the way up to stamina surge, speed eating. Counter strike is on here yet. The big one that I moved over is attack boost because literally every weapon can use that. Every weapon can use attack boost. Um, that's just, again, it's an overall skill. It's not going to hurt to have it on any particular armor set for any particular weapon opposed to another. Um, that's how I kind of look through this. Again, most of this is the exact same. Uh, the big thing that I wanted to talk about here is not so much distribution. I do see an issue with some distribution there, as we went over a little bit there. But this is all if they want to keep the two weapon system and they want it to make sense to be able to move from one weapon to another. This is how the distribution should turn out. With that, um, the deco slottage on armor is horrible. Horrible. You barely have less skills. Okay, if you just look at deco slots, okay, deco slotted skill points, okay? We're not talking about the armor skills themselves because depending on what armor skill you have, you could have whatever, weird skills in there that you want. Vastly skew the numbers one way or another. Depends how you want to play. However, when it comes to slottage, there's very few level 3 slots on any armor in the entire game, and there is a decent chunk of um, decorations that are tier 3 slots for armor. I don't. You don't need to slot them all. You don't need to slot them all, but it's really hard to max out one with just armor decos. Like it's really hard to max out a uh 5 level skill on armor just through decos if it's a tier 3 because you just don't have it. Like you are so strapped on what armors you have to take in to be able to do that. And then, obviously the best armors in the game are the ones that have tier 3 slots, but I would argue a lot of the other armors would be more viable if they did have tier 3 slots. Not to mention, not to mention weapon skills, okay? The tier 3 slots for these can roll with 2 separate skills on them. Oftentimes the first skill is 2 or 3 levels, and then the second skill, the first skill is 2 or 3 levels, the second skill is 1 level. So you can get, fire attack up, blaze it's called, with say uh what? Critical element 1. You can get 3 fire attack ups and crit element on 1 deco. Okay? So 1 deco slot. You can have a max of 3 level 3 deco slots on a weapon, and that's the Ardian weapons. I've already talked about my disappointment with those. I will link the video up there talking about those, about, just my disappointment in them, including that system with how they did it. I do enjoy the Ardian weapons to a point, but I just feel like it was done completely wrong. But before I get on my soapbox with that, we will continue. Now you come over to armor skills, and the tier threes you're looking at here are going to be, if I can, weakness exploit. It's one. That's a tier three. And then agitator is a tier three. Those ones I know for sure are tier threes. Um, the the skill distribution in World was just so much better with that. Uh, just the tier one, tier two, and tier three mixture in World was just, mwah. You know, it changed in Rise, and now it's kept the same kind of armor distribute or deco distribution that Rise had now in Wilds, um, such as like attack boost and crit eye were tier one decos in World, and since Rise they are tier two decos. Uh, Not my favorite change, but I get why they did it. It's just you don't have enough tier twos to actually do anything with that. It feels like so. eh, There's they put it at a point where there's so many levels that you can't obtain it. Like if you want to go fully into attack, you give up basically everything else to get there. Not to mention, you good luck getting a freaking an attack tier 2 or an attack tier 3. Now don't get me wrong, I have 3 attack tier 2s. 3 of them. I was lucky enough to get 3 of them by melding them after I reached Hunter rank 100. The only thing I'm doing in the game right now, the only thing I'm doing is trying to fill out my decos to get the set that I want. I just need 1 attack level 3. That's all I need. I'm not even focusing on Ardian weapons right now. I'm just focusing on decos. I can't be bothered to roll Ardian weapons and decos at this point. My god. I'm getting off track. This is what happens. I go on these rants and just totally lose track. Anyways, we need multi-skill armor decos. We need it. It is very bad that you can have 8, 9 deco slots on your armor uh, and have the same amount of skills in just deco slots. We're talking just decos here. In deco slots as you do with a 3 deco slotted weapon. What the hell? What the hell? Like literally, you can get 9 points of I think that's the top you can get. I don't think there's anything else that you can get that's a 3 and a 2. I think it's the best you can get for efficiency is a 3 and a 1 for weapons. So you get like 3 blaze and handicraft. Then you get 3 razor sharp and another handicraft. And then you get focus and another handicraft. There you go. You have you have 12 skills. My math is just bad. So 12 being the top, not 9. My god. 12 being the top. So you need 12 slots in your armor to equal what you can put on your weapon. Which means all these armor skills that would be interesting. Aquatic oil silt mobility. Okay? Well, I was going to say cliffhanger, but let's face it, no one's using that. Uh, recovery speed, recovery up. More people running marathon runner or constitution or item prolonger or iron skin or survival expert or any of the status resistances, anything like that. No one's running that shit. Like, not no one, but the majority of people aren't thinking about any of those skills. They're just throwaway skills at this point. They're skills that are in the game that no one's using unless they have a slot that they can't put anything else in, and they just have it laying there. And then they never think about actually using it for what it's used for. So you'll have botanist or something, and you'll never even worry about it. You'll never think about it. She'll just be like, "Oh, why is that there? Changing that out as soon as I can." We need more skills on armor to make these smaller skills feel like something. We need the tier 3 deco slots. We need the tier 3 decos, not the slot. Well, we need slots as well, but we need the tier 3 decos that actually give multiple skills. If you're going to do it with weapons, do it with armor. There's no reason not to do it with the armor. Um, but as far as, again, tier 3 slots on armor it's so bad. It's the best armors in the game have it, and almost nothing else. Nothing else. You're lucky if you get tier 2s on a lot of it. And it's like there's a lot of skills in the game, like armor skills, like set bonus skills that just go unused because the skills on the armor, other than the set boost, are bad, and then the decoration slottage is also bad. So no one uses the armor set skills. Just balance. We need balance. Yin and yang. Balance. Please. Please. I love you, Capcom. Just work with me here. Okay? One more while we're on our pet peeves. I made a sheet 3. So happy. Sheet 3. Skills that require less duckery. And y'all know what I mean by duckery. Ain't never typed it and meant duck. Okay? Flare. They've essentially come out and said Flare is working as intended. You may not like it, but it works as intended. So, certain attacks from each weapon do not activate Flare. Why? Come on. It was that overpowered that you had to make certain attacks not activate it? At that point, fix your skill. Most the attacks that people use the most are the ones that they're just like, yeah, those ones you can't use those ones. Those ones don't work with the skill. Oh, by the way, we're not telling you that. Good luck testing. I remember seeing someone test. I forget the guy's name. Oh my gosh, if I think about it, I'll post it in the comments. Um, Great channel. He does a lot of testing with Monster Hunter. Um, I'll make sure to find it. I'll link it down below. But he did a test with Flare, and they've since come out and said that Flare does not work with focus mode. The entire time, the guy is holding focus mode. And he's like, it's not working. Well, we know why. Oh my gosh. I was just like, oh, come on. You need patch notes for that. Like you need little like drop down menus or something. I know Monster Hunter has a lot of menus, and I'm going on another rant here. But Monster Hunter has a lot of menus, but somehow, as an Excel advocate, yeah, spreadsheet advocate. This isn't Excel, by the way. This is uh, Open Office, because I'm not paying for that shit. uh, I want more menus. Give me more menus. Give me more things to look at, please. I like it. Okay, rapid morph. The next one that duckery has occurred. Rapid morph was mwah, in Rise. Perfect. Okay? We had attacks for transferring back and forth from axe mode to switch to sword mode. Yeah, not anymore. The skill doesn't even work for half the shit. Like it activates to speed certain moves up, but not other moves for transferring. It increases some damage, but not all damage for attacks while switching. What? Why did you ruin it? First off, give us our attacks back, like our good attacks back for switching from axe mode to sword mode and sword mode to axe mode. And then make the skill work like it did in Rise. Please? If I just say please, will you do it? If I just say please. Like, uh, I'm sorry, but Switch Axe feels, in my opinion, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Um, but I'm also a realist, and I realize it is not where it needs to be. It feels bad compared to a lot of other weapons, mostly the shielded weapons, which are posting much better speedrun times than the Switch Axe. You know, the thing without a shield. Sorry, a little loud. My bad. Okay. Shielded weapons do more damage. Freaking pet peeve. Anywho, next. This one is recently done. Counter-Strike apparently no longer works freaking with counters. So the way that the description said, it said that any attack that would knock you down, essentially, or pushes you back, something like that wording, would activate the skill. On launch, the skill worked with counters. Again, Switch Axe main. Don't have a shield. Okay? We have an offset in axe mode, which you have very specific timing for because it has a windup. You can lower the windup by doing other moves before it, but that's a level of fuckery and a level of knowledge knowing the monster's moves that you're not going to get from a lot of people. So don't give me that, oh, you can do it from other moves faster. The average person is not doing that. Me, you, as people that have played it for years, yeah, probably. The average person, no. Not going to happen. Okay? Not going to happen. Don't have a shield. So we have sword mode, which has a counter. Okay? Okay? We had this great skill. If you could slot it into your armor, we had this great skill that would give you more damage. If you could pull off counters successfully, consistently, you could keep that damage up. Okay? Not anymore. Nope. Wasn't working as intended. Flare, though. Flare's working fine. We're good with that. Counter-Strike? No. Not with counters. Counter-Strike? Not with counters. Not what we meant. Take it away. Take it away. You know the old meme? Hercules? Disappointed! That one. Disappointed. Okay. Moving on. I get sidetracked quite a lot, don't I? Elemental conversion / absorption. Again, suffers. I put these together because they're part of Arkfeld set. Guardian Arkfeld, I believe, is the one that mostly comes with it. They're part of that set. But it runs the same as Flare, essentially. Certain attacks are not eligible. Are not eligible for this skill. Just like Flare, they're just like, no, that doesn't count. You have to do so much damage with element to get an elemental proc that does extra damage. So again, as you can see, my pet peeves keep coming out with Switch X and how they've treated it. For release does not count. the weapon I mean, not the weapon, the move that you want to do as often as possible that does a ton of elemental damage doesn't count. It's not the only one either. Like there's many moves for all the weapons that don't count towards this. Stop it. Stop being so freaking ducky. Just if they're not if certain attacks do not work with the skill, you need to have a description of what does and what doesn't. I am sorry. I love you, Capcom. I love you, Monster Hunter. But I am sick and tired of these damn skills looking at you, latent power, since the beginning of time, that do not say what they actually freaking do. Or if certain things are included slash excluded from the skill. Just be transparent. It's not this big freaking conspiracy. Just be transparent, please. I just want to know. I don't want to have to test a million things every patch to see if it's working or not. Moving on. I was having a good day. Everything else element related. Everything else. Crit element. Element in general. Make it flippin' viable. Monsters should be weak to elements. A lot more weak to elements. Not only that, the stupid star system for elemental weaknesses needs to go away. We're done with it. We've moved on. Give me my numbers back. I want to know exact numbers. This goes for all of Monster Hunter, okay, at this point. All of Monster Hunter. And don't get me wrong. I'd love these games. I'm going to keep playing these games. It has to be said. If you don't tell them what you find wrong with the game, they're not going to know. Okay, so this is good criticism here. Okay? This is not me saying the game is horrible. This is not me saying don't play the game. This is me saying I am acknowledging issues with the game that I have loved since 2004. Please fix this. Element needs to do more damage for every weapon. Well, for bigger weapons, mostly. A slight bump for the lower weapons as well. Would not be the worst thing in the world. They already do a decent amount of element damage, that is. But your bigger weapons, at this point, it's just. I saw a guy with dual blades the other day with paralysis. Fucking paralysis. On dual blades. Why? Why? It's fucking dual blades. Now, don't get me wrong. Play however you want to play. I'm simply saying the state of everything right now. You go out there and you talk to any content creator that has covered the game to a certain extent, or anyone who's played the game and done a decent amount of testing for themselves, knows it's status central right now. Mostly paralysis, sometimes sleep, sometimes blast. Other than that, Yeah, it's very niche for element. Uh, I at least thought that dual blades bow guns were still using element for the majority, but I was completely taken aback when I saw a dual blades main with paralysis. Again, play however you want. That could just be him, being him. That's fine. If you want to play that way, maybe that's not actually the optimal way to play. I don't know. We were facing Arkveld, which is almost the only monster that I face anymore. But nevertheless, um, make element good. Just make it do more damage. Give us actual hit zone numbers for element. It's not that hard. You know what they are. They're in the game. They have to be in the game because they're already programmed in the game. Okay? The monsters are programmed to have them. So just put it on a spreadsheet, put it in the game. Just right there. Right here. There we go. There it is. Come on. Please. I'll beg. I don't like doing that, but I will. For you guys, I will. Because I love you guys. All right. I'm going to get off my soapbox now. You guys all have a fantastic night or a fantastic day, whatever time this is. I think it's coming out in the morning. So, fantastic day. And I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye. Happy hunting.